So I'm about to pull this up. Y'all let me know whatever y'all want me to know about this right here. All right, here we go.
Somebody who I think has some thoughtful perspectives on the future direction of our country, of our conservative movement, and on this question of nationalism and national identity. Somebody who I've been fascinated by for a long time and have interacted with on social media, but for the first time we're having at least a live form conversation in the offline sense of it. It's Ann Coulter. So Ann, thanks for coming on, and I'm looking forward to our conversation today.
Me too. Thanks for having me. That was a fantastic opening monologue. I too am a fan of yours. So I'm going to make a point of disagreeing with you so that it will be fun. You are so bright and articulate, and I guess I can call you articulate since you're not an American black. Can't say that about them. That's derogatory.
And I actually think that was funny. I think that what she just now said, I'm not going to call you because you're not an American black. So, that's frowned upon to call you that, because we all seen before where somebody was endorsing a black person and they patted them on the head and said, and they're smart too. Yeah, they're smart black. Look at them. They're smart black. Assuming that most blacks are dumb. But, you know what I mean? So some people do get offended by that. Oh, and he can read very well. What you mean I can read? What, you thought I couldn't read because I'm black?
And that was a great opening segment. Lots of things to talk about there. Oh, and I agreed with many, many things you said during, in fact, probably more than most other candidates when you were running for president. But I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian. We'll get back to that. And it's directly related to what you were just talking about. The thing about nationalism, you're totally right. It is like, to use the word nationalism, oh, it's Hitler, it's Hitler. And, Hitler had soup. That doesn't mean we shouldn't have soup. Mm-hmm. Hitler loved dogs. That doesn't mean you shouldn't love dogs. So I think we have to move past this. If Hitler did it, it must be bad. But I do notice when I was listening to your monologue, I don't think I do use the word nationalism. I would use a word you used in your monologue, which I liked quite a bit, and that's citizenship. There's citizenism. How about Americanism?
Yeah.
I'd also point out that the only people who are not allowed to be proud of their ethnic group do tend to be Anglo-Saxons. Oh boy, you can't be proud of being white. Whereas, watch a soccer game. And see, it's Venezuela, we're Mexicans. It's funny. Hispanics don't even think of themselves as Hispanics. They think of themselves as the country they're from. I think French feel very proud to be French. We saw Macron expressly objecting wokeness on the grounds that this is an American institution. We're not going to import this. So you do see basically every other ethnic group very proud of their ethnic group. And the thing I'd say about America, okay, no single cuisine, but you can get Chinese food and Mexican food in Paris and Tokyo. Food has definitely migrated across countries. There is a core national identity that is the identity of the WASP. And that doesn't mean we can't take anyone else in, a Sri Lankan or a Japanese or an Indian, but the core around which the nation's values are formed is the WASP. We've never had a president who didn't have at least partial English ancestry. Never. We've only had one Catholic president. There was only one Catholic signatory to the Declaration of Independence. They were all not only Protestants, but pretty much Presbyterian. King George referred to the American Revolution as that Presbyterian War. So there is a lot in the freedom thing. Samuel Huntington of Harvard has written about this in a fantastic book I recommend to everyone, Who Are We? And he describes how, back in colonial times, interestingly enough, for example, Jews could vote, but Catholics couldn't because people thought they would be more loyal to Rome. Once they became more American Catholic and less Roman Catholic, then they were just, part of us and part of Americans. But you do notice, and he describes why so many countries that have not done very well are dominated by Catholicism. It's much more from the top down. It lends itself to an authoritarian governance, whereas, Calvinists, it's between you and God. And moreover, because of the Presbyterian, I think every ethnic group has this, the WASP work ethic and the Jewish work ethic, and I'm sure there is an Indian work ethic. But specifically with Presbyterians or Protestants, let me put it that way, and the Calvinism, even though it might not be theologically true, but the idea that you are part of the chosen and you prove that by being successful. It's almost the reverse in Catholic countries, not so much this country because American Catholics have basically become Protestants. And that is this worship of being poor, as if you are closer to God because you're poor. That's not the way to create a like on the go developing country.
Mm-hmm. No,
All right. So sometimes if you want the truth from somebody and you're not so easily offended and you're not so easily butthurt about what somebody says, you're still a child in an adult's body, and you want to bark back at something that someone said because you just want to argue and you just want to be in a bad place, then you'll get just that. You'll be in your bad place. You'll be pissed off. You'll get your argument. You'll get your debate. You'll get your opportunity to go toe to toe with somebody over something ignorant. But if you want the truth, sometimes just shut the hell up and listen. And from what I just now heard from what she just now said, she's not lying. She's not lying. We have been teaching people how to grow online. It's been absolutely amazing. We have 3 people who have been able to reach monetization in less than 30 days. Growing YouTube channels, some from 0 people. We have one guy who had 2 subscribers before he started working with me. He started helping him. His views went up 4.8 million%. We're super excited. If anybody ever want to grow on YouTube, you reach out to me with the word coach. From the beginning of time, of every single president the United States have had, what's expected is a white Anglo-Saxon man. I don't know about the Protestant, but yes, a Christian. A white Christian male is what's expected. Are you surprised? I'm not surprised. I don't have any issue with what she said. Now, when she said, I wouldn't have voted for you because you're Indian, his face didn't even change. He wasn't bothered. He was like, his face didn't change. He wasn't offended. But Patrick Bet David and Valuetainment Crew, shout out to them for touching on the issue. The fact that she did say it mean that there's a nice group of people, and nice group by the size. There's a big group of people in the country who also feel that way. And one thing we need to get away from, even if you feel that way, I'm cool with you saying it, but I'm not cool with you staying that way simply because it's from the beginning of the time of time. That's what it was. I need for you to change the way you think. Change it, and by changing it, I mean improve the way you think. Like, we can't just stick to white Anglo-Saxon male who is a Christian all the time simply because that's always been the play, right? Sometimes that might not be the answer. Sometimes politicians who are lifelong politicians are not the answer. Because if they were the answer, then Joe Biden would technically be the best president of all time because he was a lifelong politician. This dude has been losing races all of his life. And we see what type of president that he is. He's not a great president. I'm sorry, he's just not. And we can see that the closer it comes to voting again for presidency, the more he's trying to give to this group and give to that group. Oh, we're going to give $80 billion to black universities, black colleges, and we're going to go speak at their graduations. We're going to give commencement speeches and tell them that the worst thing that ever happened to America is the white man, racism and white supremacy. All right? We're going to remind them that we are the problem and that I'm the only person that can save them because I love them. I have a heart for the black person. And it's all a lie. It's a song and dance. It's like buying a lady a drink and then buying her another drink and staying close to her the whole night while she's at the club and then buying her another drink because you're trying to get her draws. You're trying to get the draws, okay? Sometimes you need to know when somebody's trying to get the draws or if they're being honest with you, if they're trying to play you. And Joe Biden is trying to play us, period. And by us, I mean the black people. He's trying to play the black people. He already gave up on a lot of y'all. That's why he separate himself from MAGA country. He don't consider MAGA a part of the America that he supports. And that's the issue. That's the issue. Because you don't support me, then screw you. I don't support you. And you can't do that as the president. You got to be the president for everyone. And that's why a lot of black people were mad at President Barack Obama too, because they expected for him to bust up in the building and say, if you're black, I'm only here for you. Kool-Aid and fried chicken for everybody. Reparations for everybody. Everybody gets some reparations and fried chicken and Kool-Aid and whatever else black people like. What you want? What you want? You want some shoes? What you want? Nah, it don't work that way. We want the best and we want the brightest and we want people with a spine, people that would get things done. You know what I mean? If we weren't voting with our emotions, this border crisis wouldn't be nowhere near where it is right now. If we weren't voting with our emotions, wars in all these different countries wouldn't happen right now. It wouldn't be happening because we had somebody strong that would have taken care of all of that. A lot of y'all probably not picking up what I'm putting down, but this is just from my own periphery, from my own vantage point, my own perspective. This is just where I see things based off of my own upbringing and where I am right now in life. That's it. That's it. But as far as what she said, I have no issue with what she said. Sorry. I know that might hurt some people, but I just don't have no issue with what she said. I wouldn't have voted for you because you're Indian. Whoo, I think that's a bar. I think that's a bar. If he could present himself to be a better candidate or someone in a better position, then that will put this country in a better position than any other options. I think she would. For anyone that wants to learn how to grow on YouTube, I need for y'all to reach out to me with the word coach, okay? All right, we meet on a daily basis to make sure people are growing. We have someone right now that's at 140,000 subscribers after 4 months of working with me. Everyone that worked with me reached monetization in under 30 days. We have some people who reach it in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks, but it's amazing. It's not about speed. It's about positioning yourself so you understand how to navigate around these platforms, because sometimes it's a lot happening and it will behoove us all, you included, it will behoove you to learn how to operate on these social media platforms, okay? And I want to teach you how to do that. Reach out to me with the word coach and let's get it popping, guys.